The only thing that bothers me though is that when it's snowing here, in Norway, if it snows, the snow is out of the roads at 6 a.m. But they don't
Yeah.
have that. They don't have that experience yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember when we canceled training because of snow. It was like, what? Come on, we can just shovel that.
Hello, welcome to the United Soccer Lounge. My name is Riley James. This is episode 28 right here on Goals TV. I'm laughing because we just finished taping our interview with Jonas Fjeldberg of Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC of the USL Championship. Had to make sure I got all of those words right before telling you about a journalism major from Full Sail University and a communications major from the University of Dayton not being able to figure out why I could not hear him for 15 minutes. It was incredible. The start that we had. And then I asked him, hey, you went to Dayton, we can talk about soccer or whatever. What did you major in? And then he tells me that, and it just made it a lot funnier. And I'm sitting here now dreading some of the editing I'm going to have to do because of our malfunctions. But all in all, a great interview. You're not going to hear any of the bad parts because that's what the editing bay is for. So I'm excited for that. We chat, obviously, about the season that Colorado Springs is having. Third in the Western Conference, competing for second. They won a home playoff game. And the mentality it takes to be able to get back to the postseason after a first-round exit a year ago. He also talks about how much he loves the United States. And coming over from Norway, he has since tried to ingrain himself into American culture. And apparently he's done a fantastic job because if you listen to the interview, he doesn't really have much of a Norwegian accent anymore. And it's a really telling thing about where our country is with welcoming people in. And I think it's a really touching and really great thing in there about the American dream still being alive and well, which, of course, this show, not to get political in any possible way, but that was a really great moment from Jonas, whether he knew it or not, whether he meant to or not. We talked about his representation of Norway at the youth level, the confidence it brings to be able to wear a shirt so young before you even play professional soccer, and then the MLS Super Draft being selected by Cincinnati and then ultimately being told he wasn't in their future. How to overcome that and find a place like Colorado Springs where he is valued and obviously well utilized with 42 appearances over nearly 2 full seasons out in the American West. But that'll do it for us. At the top of the show, make sure to like this video if you've had technical problems yourself on Zoom. Make sure to like it, comment your technical issues, what you like about Jonas or what you like about Colorado Springs, and then obviously share it on all the platforms. But I'll chat with Jonas starts right now on Goals TV. Please welcome to the show a Norwegian youth international with 17 caps for his country at the youth level, making his way to Dayton, Ohio to play for the Flyers in college, 61 appearances, 22 goals in his collegiate days. That led him to being drafted by FC Cincinnati right down the road in the MLS Super Draft back in 2021. And now, someone who has found a way and has found a home in the USL Championship. Please welcome to the show from the Colorado Springs Switchbacks, Jonas Fjeldberg. Jonas, thank you so much for hanging out, man. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Honestly, it was a rocky start to this interview.
It
We
really was. I
we
was
could
starting to
not.
believe it wouldn't happen.
We were. I was like, I need to start emailing your comms director and rescheduling this. I don't know if it's my fault. Couldn't hear him for like 15 minutes, but we got it sorted out. Everything's good,
Hey man, never give up.
and we're doing this show
Yeah.
on a Wednesday in September. We're super happy to have you. Um, Obviously a lot to get to today. We have a lot of questions both about Colorado Springs and before Colorado Springs. I want to start with the current season at hand. We'll go past, present, and future. We'll start in the present. You guys are third in the Western Conference right now. You're battling for second. You have 44 points through 28 games at time of recording, at the very least. Where is this team mentally as you head into the latter part of the season and into a playoffs where you guys were knocked out in the first round last year? Where's this team at mentally?
So we're trying to get a home playoff game. That's been the ultimate goal since the beginning. We always say that getting a home playoff game in Colorado, that's a really tough place to go. I've played here myself as for RGV against Colorado Springs in the playoffs, and that was not a fun experience. So getting a home playoff game with the start we had to the season, we said we were going to win the West, but we kind of shot ourselves in the foot there. Going 0-5, but we always knew that we're going to get it sorted. And yeah, right now we're flying. Training's good. Guys are happy. Guys are coming back from injury, so we're in a really good spot. Yeah.
And now, again, a first round exit last year. That's tough for any team, regardless whether you're home or you're away. There seems to be this vindication tour that you guys are on right now to get back to that placement and push forward for another playoff run, but this time a little bit deeper into the run. What has been coached into you guys this year to avoid the repeat of last year?
I think we just got to have a change of mentality. I think last year, obviously it was my first year. I hadn't been there that long, and I kind of heard around the building like, "Oh, San Antonio, they're good, they're good." But I didn't ever had that thought in my mind. Like once, like I played San Antonio multiple times. I've never lost to them, except for that playoff game, unfortunately. And I felt like we were kind of going into that game with a defeated mindset, and that's something that's changed this year, where we know how good we are, and we're gonna take charge of the games now. And yeah, we're not going to just play off of how you play. We're going to make the game our own.
Now, to the league as a whole, you've been involved in the USL Championship for this is your fifth season, whether it's been on loan or whether it's your time in Indianapolis. You've seen this league change, right? It's gotten a lot more structured. It's gotten a lot more high profile with people coming into this league, whether it be from Major League Soccer, whether it be in ownership groups. This league is a relevant part of American soccer. How have you seen it change from the player's perspective since you were loaned out?
Yeah, I think that from the moment I was loaned out in 2021 from Cincy, I saw a league that was already growing. Like a lot of it had been implemented already, and then as I became a permanent part of this league, I saw that we're getting the players association, stuff like that. The players get a say, and that obviously helps the league like evolve. The players get a lot more say. We can't just be the clubs running everything. That's not good for the players. And ultimately the players is the most important part of the league. So I think that it's been really fun to watch, just going to these new stadiums, seeing the teams, make the step up. It's been great. The setup we have here now, I can speak for us in Indy. The setup we have is fantastic. Yeah, it's not too far off of what I had at Cincy, so it's been great, and I just can't wait to see what the World Cup will do for us and what how it will look in the future.
Yeah, a massive, massive tournament, not only for the World Cup itself, but for the United States and
Yeah,
people that love this game in this country and people that play this game
yeah,
in this country. It's going to be fantastic. Speaking of the United States, it's something you mentioned off the top of the show that I find incredibly interesting. You are, I guess, more American than I realized. It's, I guess, what is the reasoning behind that? Why are you so into this country when it seems like a lot of people want to be out of this country?
yeah. That's something that I'll never understand. I come from a tiny country. Obviously, that Norway's not tiny, but there's little people. Like there's not a lot of people there. So for me coming here and getting to see everything that America offers, it kind of grasped me from the first semester at Dayton. I was like, this is awesome. The lights are brighter here. There's I think the people, the most underrated part of this country. They're so nice. Yeah, everything I knew about America before coming here was from the movies, and not they're not portrayed in the best light. So that was I was real happy about that. Going to school in the Midwest, just saw how welcoming everybody was. Yeah, just fell in love with it from the beginning, and now yeah, I'm very happy to still be here. I hope I can be here many more years, and yeah, real proud to making a life for myself in America. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's what America is built on, right? People coming over from other places and ultimately doing in this country what they can't do in their own. That's been the
Yeah,
American dream for forever. I think that the startling part is you find Americans so nice. I think it's because you went to Ohio, Texas, Indiana, and now Colorado. People are
yeah,
the nicest people in the world out there.
yeah. Maybe I've been lucky, man. I've just had amazing encounters with Americans everywhere I go. I cannot say a time where I didn't like any specific uh, part about where I lived. So yeah,
Well,
it's been great.
well, the cold doesn't bother you because like
Yeah, I'm from
that's
Norway. Like this is
that's
nothing.
that's the only thing I know about Norway is cold.
Yeah, it's cold. We get the winters. The only thing that bothers me though is that when it's snowing here, in Norway, if it snows, the snow is out of the roads at 6 a.m. But they don't
Yeah,
have that. They don't have that experience yet.
yeah.
So yeah, I remember when we canceled training because of snow. It was like, what? Come on, we can just shovel that.
Yeah, no, it's trust me. Tax dollars aren't used to their proper specifications here in the States. I don't want to get into politics about
No, let's
Colorado
not
or
make it
anything like that.
political, please.
So, not on this show. We can do it off air, but
Yeah,
nevertheless, it's an interesting experience to hear someone like you want to be able to be so American in a sense. I asked you about your name at the top of the show, and you said, "Yeah, just do it the most American way possible," which
yeah,
is super easy for me because that's like I've been covering this game for 7 years, and I still mess up a lot of names, so I appreciated that a little bit of
yeah.
a
I'm
break.
a I'm a guest in your country, so you say however you want, man.
See,
I
I
will.
would I would argue the inverse of saying
Okay.
like everyone deserves to have their name said how they want to, but this is how you want to.
Yeah, I think it might bother someone, but it really doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Uh,
Shifting our focus back towards Norway for just a moment, you represented them internationally at 4 different levels of their youth structure. And now, before you ever got to Dayton or before you ever made it pro here in the U.S., you had such an opportunity to be around a large group of great players. How much confidence did it give you to represent your country that young? And how much of that has carried over into your time playing here in the United States?
yeah, I mean, it was really a special feeling every time you stepped on the pitch with your nation's jersey. So yeah, I played with a lot of great players. Played against a lot of great players, and just amazing to see where they are now and how our careers compare. And it's really a journey um, to see how different people's careers panned out and the different paths that you can take to actually make it pro. So yeah, it's obviously you get another gear in you when you look down and you see the Norwegian flag and you're representing 5 million people back home. And yeah, we're getting there, but we weren't famous for being a soccer country, more of a skiing country. And I think nowadays with the profiles that we have, that's changing. And being a part of that youth that's now killing it in these big leagues was really, really proud of that. Yeah,
Yeah, when I think of the Winter Olympics, a lot of people like will look at the United States and think that Russia is our biggest rival. No, it's Norway
it's
because of the
Norway, man.
skiing and because
Yeah,
of how many great things and how many great athletes you guys have from that country of 5 million people. There are a lot of
yeah,
talented people that come from Norway, and you look at just specifically soccer players. I mean, you have a team that is being built around one Erling Haaland. I ask you as a
yeah.
Norwegian, but also now as pretty much an American, is will you be able to see your home nation in this country in the World Cup a couple of years.
I hope so.
Is
This is
that
our
something
golden, yeah, this is
that's
our golden generation. Like if it's not gonna happen now, it's never gonna happen. We have arguably two of the top three best players in the best league in the world. Holland scoring hat tricks every weekend. Odegaard captaining Arsenal. Uh, yeah, we have Sorloth on top for Atletico Madrid. Like it's never been a better scenario for us. So yeah, hopefully we'll be lucky with the group because it's always tough in Europe. But I don't think I think anything but an appearance in a World Cup would be a disappointment at this point.
so you're not with me in the train of thinking the US and Norway in the final in New York.
What are the odds on that? Because I'm putting money on it.
I'm sure it's probably very, very attainable to put
Yeah.
$5 on it and you and I retire. Um, that's great. Let's go to Dayton, Ohio for a second. 61 appearances, 22 goals in your time in college. We can talk about college soccer all day long, and that's a great thing. But I'm more interested in what you majored in at Dayton.
Oh, communication management.
What does that mean?
It means that you do a lot of media, a lot of talking, a lot of presentations. You learn how to just present yourself in a good light. Yeah, it's just kind of glorified manipulation, if you want to say it like that.
So, a communications major and a journalism major could not figure out how to get sound for 15 minutes
Yeah,
on Zoom. That's great.
I guess we didn't learn a lot.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I just basically went to school so I can keep doing this.
Yeah,
Yeah. What an interview. This is probably the most free flowing interview we've had so far on the show. It's great.
that's awesome.
I had a question about what's become the most American thing about you. It's something I asked to a lot of foreign born players. I don't think there is anything that's Norwegian about you anymore. It seems like you've taken on our culture and just kind of ran with it.
Yeah, maybe the blonde hair. But now I look like a Cali surfer dude, they say. So
Yeah, you're almost there in Colorado. I guess to rearrange that question, what's something from Norway that, regardless of how American you might come, that you still hold very close to your heart?
Christmas. There's nothing like Christmas in Norway.
It's
I'll stand
just
by that for the rest of my life.
just snowing the entire time.
Yeah, just you look outside. If you Google the ideal Christmas weather, it's every day, every time in Norway. So I go home to Norway for Christmas, and yeah, I can't see myself not going back to Norway for Christmas.
I know we've been having a lot of fun and I love it. Want to keep it going. But there is one aspect of your career that I am curious about. You have faced rejection at the professional level on multiple occasions. Now, it's like that with any career that you might choose, but professional sports is so fragile in the sense that there may not be something else down the line. So when you were brought in and told you weren't a part of a team's future, how do you take that in those moments following?
Yeah, it sucks. I heard it on a phone call, unfortunately.
Oof.
But yeah,
That's
my situation was a little strange. I got drafted by Cincy, and they had like the worst year um, they've ever had. Obviously, now they're really good, and I'm really glad to see that. But I remember when they signed me, they said an international spot was going to clear up. Obviously, they kept just losing and losing every week, so they kept bringing in, profiles from Europe and other teams in the MLS. So that spot never opened up for me. So I asked if I could go out on loan. I went out to RGV, did really well. Then when I came back, new GM, new manager, the whole staff was new. So I had to like reintroduce myself and say like, hey, my name is Jonas. I was on loan in Texas.
I work
Yeah,
here.
like yeah, yeah. You guys got any like information for me? So unfortunately, they hadn't seen enough, so they had to invite me. They invited me for a trial again the next preseason, but I didn't want to go into that just gambling my career on a trial. A trial can go both ways. You never know. So I contacted Indy because that's kind of close to Cincy. I didn't want to leave the Midwest yet, so I got a 2-year deal with Indy set up, but they gave me a time of 2 weeks. I have 2 weeks to prove Cincy. And after 2 weeks, I asked like, "Hey, what do you guys think?" And they said they needed more time. So I called up India and said, "Yeah, let's do this." And yeah, I thought it was going to be a bigger step down than what it has been, facilities wise, and just how things are ran are very similar. And I'm very very happy that this league has grown so much because I'm very happy where I'm at, and yeah, I hope I have a long future in this league. Yeah,
And seemingly you found it in Colorado. 42 appearances over the last season and a half, or almost 2 seasons now.
yeah,
It
yeah. I've
is. It's so great to see you found your place in the starting 11. And the question I have is how much does it mean to you to be able to find a place where you're valued after bouncing around so much?
Yeah, that's always something you appreciate. As a soccer player, finally finding a place you can call home. And I've from day one when I stepped into the building, these guys, coaches, Jambo, Hoagie, Al, were all like super nice to me. They were saying the words that I wanted to hear. Obviously, they weren't just like doing that on purpose. There was obviously music to my ears, the way they want to set things up, what they value in a soccer player. So yeah, and fortunately, it happens to be a ton of mountains and snow here, so I was very happy. So yeah, I'm glad I've found my spot for the foreseeable future, and yeah, I'm finally I'm starting to gain some momentum in the starting 11. I felt like I've been struggling with some injuries, stuff like that. Kind of getting on a good streak, and then a little minor setback, and then having to do all that again, or the coach's trust again. But here they've actually given me time to get my body right and get my mind right for yeah,
And
to set up a successful season. Yeah,
yeah, and again, successful season. You guys are third as this interview is being recorded on September 18th in the Western Conference, tied on points for second. I mean,
yeah,
it almost can't be more successful than it is, unless you're
yeah.
competing with the likes of Charleston and Louisville on the other side of the league. It's this is a successful point in Colorado Springs' history, and obviously the last season making the playoffs and now bringing that momentum into a 2024 season with a lot of guys that come back and want to make this a season worth remembering. So it's amazing. I have known you for about 20 minutes. I'm thrilled for you. I'm very
Thank
very
you.
happy that you found a place, right? Because I've interviewed a lot of guys before. This is my 7th year doing this. There's dudes that still haven't found their place,
Yeah,
and it's always really cool to see a good player find a good club. So best of luck to you. I
appreciate that.
cannot wait to hang out with you in New Jersey at the World Cup final in 2026. It's gonna be so
We'll be on
sick.
different sides.
So you'll still support Norway over the US.
I have to.
Yeah, I
I
guess you
have
do.
to. Yeah, but if US plays anybody else, it's always going to be the US.
Yeah. We have
Yeah,
I don't know if you've heard, we have this guy named Mauricio Pochettino as our coach now.
yeah. That's it doesn't scare me at all. Somebody did at Chelsea.
Yeah. Oh, Erling Haaland is also very scary.
That should scare you.
As Poch doesn't play.
Yeah, that's true. You can only do so much, but yeah, the American players now are unbelievable. They're tearing it up in Europe. I mean, I'm a Liverpool fan, and Pulisic was killing us yesterday. So
Yeah, that brand new Champions League format.
yeah, I
No,
know what. Of
it's great, man. Well, we certainly appreciate your time. Best of
course.
luck the rest of the season and stay healthy.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much to Jonas, to Colorado Springs, to the league, to everyone involved in helping make this happen. And a special shout out to Jonas for sticking with us for those few minutes to be able to get this interview done and bring it to you, the fans of Colorado Springs, the fans of the USL Championship, or just soccer curious folks out there looking for something to fill your days. So that'll do it for us. If you'd like to get in touch with us on the internet, at Rally Gems IAC on Instagram and X. This show has a dedicated Instagram account for clips every single day, and that is USL on Goals on Instagram. The parent company, Goals TV, Goals.tv on Instagram, goals_TV on X. You can find more content just like this and more content exactly like this with a full catalog of this show available exclusively on www.goals.tv. That'll do it for us and the wildest show I think we've had in a long time. Cannot wait for next week, whatever that's going to bring, because we're getting down to the playoffs in one league and kicking off the USL Super League. So who knows who's going to be the show next week? I don't even know yet. It's just exciting. So that'll do it for us. Thank you so much for hanging out. For Jonas, Fjeldberg, I'm Riley James. If anyone cares, we'll see you with somebody next week.